Hi guys, welcome to DevOps School. In this video tutorial, we are going to learn about DevOps. DevOps is a set of culture, process and tools that define modern software delivery. It is a combination of development and operations which help to increase an organization's speed to deliver applications and services. After going through this tutorial, I promise you that the concept and understanding of DevOps will be absolutely clear to you. This series is divided into multiple parts. Therefore, subscribe to the channel and follow the playlist.
But before that, let me ask you a few things. Are you dreaming of a career with higher pay and more responsibilities? Or are you ready to take your skills to the next level this year? Then start investing in DevOps School certification level courses which will help you to emerge skills for a wide range of entry level roles and as well as higher potential future positions. But with thousands of courses online and in classroom worldwide, finding the right one for your career goals can be difficult. You can consider our courses like Agile Developer, Agile QA, DevOps Certified Professionals, Site Reliability Engineering, DevSecOps, and Masters in DevOps Engineering, where you will have access to well-structured, easy-to-follow course content that has been developed and will be delivered by industry professionals. You can join on our training programs globally through online platforms, and if you are looking for classroom workshops, then we have regular sessions available in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi NCR, Mumbai, and in Pune. Simply compare our many courses, find the one that suits your style and schedule best, and start today.
So lots of coordinations, emails and stuff like that. So I just have to switch off my phones to avoid the disturbance, because lots of different coordinators call me and ask for this, that and all. Okay, so why we are here? So our goal objective is only thing, do the software development. That's a goal actually. Now, but software development, but with certain other goals also. We have to develop a software. We have to develop a software with quality. Okay, that's important. We all know that. Also, less cost. Okay, this is also, we know that, like, we have to develop a software in lesser cost so we can be competitive in the market, and quality, and we want to make it immediate. Okay, that means immediate release. When I say immediate release, means we should release very often. So these are the objective for us, you, me, all of us. This is the prime objective. We have to have a software development with the quality, within a lesser cost, immediate release. Now the question is, how do we achieve it? So all the time we had this objective. So initially, I'll put it in this way: when consumptions, understand that consumptions we had, and then uh, how we were consuming the applications. Okay, I'm just trying to explain you in a short discussion, not getting into the deep dive into that. And so how we were consuming the applications. So consuming the applications, initially we were consuming through desktop. Okay, we were consuming through desktop. Then finally we got migrated to browser. Okay, understand this, browser. And now we are having devices. This is how we are evolving, right? This is a more or less, now if you look at the devices like Android devices, fridge, you have applications, washing machine, you have applications, TV, you have applications. So these are the devices, different devices you are consuming. uh, when I say consumptions, don't think you are a software engineer, you are a software consumer. Okay, like my mother, or maybe your mother, or something like that. So they are consumers actually. So we were consuming application, desktop, browser and devices. Now when we had a consumptions, then at that time we were having a desktop, I mean, installing the application desktop. So now if you look at the packaging model, again it was like a tightly coupled here. So packaging were tightly coupled, and now here we were having tightly coupled, and here we are having here loosely coupled. Okay, and here also in the devices we are having loosely coupled. Now, if you look at the platform, how we were running desktop browser and all. So here we were running in a PC, desktop base, of course. Here we are running in a laptop, and here we are running in the devices. So again, I'll put it in the devices only. This is called platform. Okay, so how we were running. So here we were running PCs. Now laptop, I will convert into, sorry, VMs. This one platform. So how we were running applications in PCs. Then PCs are called desktop, you can call it, or physical machines, I can call it. Let's say physical machine, PM. Just think about it. This is a physical machine. And then we were running the application platform, browser-based application in the VMs. And then here devices, I will convert it to the container. Okay. Now, what is a container? So this I will teach you anyways as part of this training. But VMs, you know that. PCs and physical machines, you know that. So this is how we were running application, runtime application platform. So see that here, this is the objective all the time we had in the history of the software development. Every time we've been asked to develop a software with the quality, lesser cost, immediate release. So then what we had, then software development model. Now, what is the software development model we had at that time? Two things here: software development model and software development architecture. Now, what are the software development architecture we had? So at that time, many scientists, many enterprise architects suggested, see that release is how often you have a release in the desktop based consumption story. When we were running the application in the physical machines, the release used to happen once in a year, 1 year. Okay, why? Example also I'll put it so you'll correlate the stuff. Example like MS Office. Okay, so you used to have the releases once in a year. That means software development will life cycle will be of 1 year. That means 1 year you have to develop a software and release to the market here. So when we have a 1 year release cycle, then many many scientists suggested, if you follow the the model which is waterfall model, then it will be very good for quality of the software. It will be very good for the less cost, and it will be very good for the immediate release. So waterfall model, which is here. Now with that, the behavior of architecture was monolithic. Okay, monolithic. So see here the relationship how we are migrating. So consumptions where we are doing in the desktop, tightly coupled all this stuff. We were running the PCs, 1 year release, and example MS Office, and monolithic. Monolithic means everything together. Monolithic means everything tightly coupled. That means there is one EXEs, and in the EXEs itself, you have thousands of features. That's called monolithic. You don't have a decoupled services. And here we have a waterfall model. Now, for this software development model is waterfall model. So overall, this is the stuff. So waterfall model was very successful model when we had a 1 year release MS Office. And requirement, I'll also add one more column. Requirement many means lots of. I'll put it in lots of. So there's so many features. Feature, I'll put it instead of requirement if you want. So feature, lots of. Now what has happened, we got the internet. Now here we got the internet. Now when we got the internet, it's become a very popular. We all get connected through the internet initial days. Okay, and then when we got the internet, then right now many organizations started running the applications, which is applications software. Okay, why we are here? Because of applications development, software running. These are the reasons which we are why we are here. So software running. So for developing application, running applications, they wanted to make it accessible over the internet. And you know that how can you access the internet based application through browser. Now if it is a browser, then the overall everything has to change. This architecture has to change. Why it has to change? Because when you run in the browser, you have to have web servers. Earlier, the web server concepts was not there. Web server is design, I mean, become popular because of the internet. So here, MS Office, there's no web server, right? There's no web server. It's a console-based application. Okay, not server, web server-based application. So here, what has happened? Then they decided, okay, we'll have a browser-based application. So they have to run in the data center. So they have to run in the data center. So now, same time, they want to reduce the cost. Why cost? Because we are not paying. So they say, no, let's not run in the physical machines. Let's not run in the physical machine. Let's run in the virtual machines. Okay, because virtual machines will do what? It'll not do anything else but avoid the cost of, I mean, avoid the wastage. Okay, avoid the wastage of physical machines, because you run one application in a one physical machine, or you create a 4 VM and you have a 70% RAM or CPU not used, or either you create a multiple VMs and run application in the VMs, and where your utilization of a physical machines resources is like 80% or something like that. So avoid the wastage. So when you have a avoiding the wastage, lower cost. Okay, now getting the physical machine at that point of time, it was a very big task, but getting a virtual machine, it was like a very time, I mean, it used to take less time compared to physical machine. Then we got the quality improvement also. Why? Because now we are saving lots of time, uh, and because of multiple processes also, so we are saving multiple times. So here we migrate to the virtual machine. Now we say, okay, we are applications we are running already in the internet, so we need a frequent patches. We cannot say we will fix after 3 months or after 6 months or after 1 year. We need a frequent patches, frequent testing, frequent development. All this thing we need it, like immediately you have to plan for it, immediately you have to develop for it, immediately you have to release for it, test for it, immediately you have to release for it. So all this thing has to happen immediate release has come. Why? Because it's an internet based application. If anything goes wrong, everyone getting impacted, right? Don't you think so? Everyone getting impacted. So because of that, now we cannot do everything in one go. All the requirements we cannot go. So here we got a few few features we got it. So when we got a few features, we have to we got a reduction of release cycle 2 weeks. Okay, that is where the 2 weeks is become a very popular. I know you know that what I'm talking about. So it's like a agile model and stuff like that. Okay, so here that is where the 2 week sprint got popular, and here we got into agile. So agile says, okay, don't plan for a year, 3 months or something, plan for 2 weeks and deliver to that with the quality. Okay, so internet based application, again we got a shorter releases, immediate release, lower cost and stuff like that. Here monolithic means, here you can say monolithic means, from here monolithic we have to migrate it to SOA, service oriented architecture, like a web server, database server, app server, load balancer server, and these are the things we got popular. So architecture we migrated. So earlier we had everything in one, now we got a separate. Business logic is separate, database separate, web is separate, all this front end is separate, back end is separate. So it's like this. So everything got separated. So here everything got separated. Now example I would keep it, let's say you understand, let's say you are running, let's say one of the applications which is a very popular on a web based, something like a Jenkins. Okay, Jenkins, which you use for the CI tool, but it's a web based things. Or you can say WordPress. Let's use a WordPress. Actually, this is the most popular. 70% of the websites of Word runs on the CMS of WordPress. So you have a web server, backend server, database MySQL, PHP is a backend. Uh, so so like that WordPress. So now see that how we got evolved. Now suddenly what we have understood is, Now we are running everything in the devices. And earlier we were using internet. Think about it, we were using internet, but currently we are living on the internet. Means 24/7 connected and everything. Everything has to happen immediately. Okay. Earlier we were using internet, so you go to the desktop, you go to laptop or the browser. Still we are doing the browsing, but the use of browsing has got reduced drastically. So now we are living on the internet. Our Android device is connected to the internet. Multiple apps is 24 by running internet. Everything is got connected to the internet. So here what we do, we don't package everything tightly, we package loosely. So when we got internet, again we have to have a three objective. So organization started talking about no, we have to improve the quality. See that aspects of the improving the quality. So here you have to improve the quality for 1 year release. Here we have to improve the quality for the 2 weeks release. And here you have to improve the quality for the something like let's say 5 minutes release. That means think about it. In the 5 minutes you have to develop code, plan, code, build, test, and release. How can it be possible? Right? How can it be possible? So here now, earlier we had a platform like a physical machine, then virtual machine, then container. Now what is a container? Anyways I'll talk about it. But this is how we got evolved. Now earlier we had a feature of we were working as a developer on the multiple feature or testing as a multiple feature. Then we got started with a few feature only for 2 weeks, and now we have to start for only one feature. And this one feature we have to do development plus QA plus operations. Okay, all things. Okay, only one feature we have to work. If I want to work with so only one feature, small code. So here I'll put it in the code base also, so you'll visualize this code base. Let's say 1 GB. Here your code base become a, let's say 100 MB. Okay, and here your code base become a 5 MB. So see that how the transition is happening. That means you will be working only on small one microservices. Okay, so here code base is here only 5 MB. So here you can do the development, QA, and operations. That means everyone has to know everything, at least know what is supposed to be done and all. It is a different topics altogether. So this is this has to be done. Now example here, when we say WordPress, let's say Google we use every day. Okay, so now Google is running on the containers, and their developers work on the each individual features. Their code base of the each feature is very small, and then releases they do very often, and you won't realize they don't have a downtime, highly scalable, highly available, and stuff like that. So that is what containers bring the lots of advantage for us. So here the architecture also has to change, because you can't dream of everything in the older practices. So architecture also here got changed from here SOA to we got a microservices. Okay, microservices. So here we got a microservices here. So now you see here we had everything, all 100 services together, one package. Then here we have to work only on 5 feature this month, this week, means 2 weeks release agile. Okay, and then here we have to only work on the one feature, one microservices. So let's say you have a software and the software has a 200 feature. That means only 200 microservices will be there. That means one person will be working for the only one microservices, may work for the another microservices also, but I'm just telling you at a high level. It's not if and but or something like that. So one person will be working on the one microservices, he'll be developing also, testing also, and operationalize also. Everywhere it will be involved. Okay, and then so here waterfall model got changed to agile, and agile model got evolved to DevOps. Okay, now these are the just ways to change the stuff. These are the ways to change the stuff. So now you see that how we are evolving. This is the evolution actually. Again, let me tell you, this is my interpretation of how you are evolving. Again, different people have a different interpretation, so I'm not saying it's 100% this interpretation is correct. Okay, so this is how we evolving. Now the question is what is DevOps? So at least you have got an idea. DevOps is one of the software development model. See here, DevOps is a software development model for supporting quality release. Okay, understand that. This is always you get stuck. Quality release, cost reduction, cost reduction, and immediate release. So these are the three objectives. Always we had it. So DevOps is a way to reduce to have the quality release. Okay, cost reduction, immediate release, and so on. Okay, this is the objective. So this objective we had here also, here also, here also, but the the context got changed. Now you have a software now through the devices. You have to do the release every 5 minutes. Okay, you have to do not everything but one microservices. So how can we do this? So DevOps will help you to get this transformation done to address this objective. So DevOps would help you to migrate from old to new. I'm just putting old to new means from desktop to devices era, PC to container era, lots of feature, one code base, releases, examples, architecture, model. So this is the DevOps will help you to migrate from old to get following objective. Okay. Now still it's not clear what is a DevOps. So I'll discuss a little bit more about it. But this is a kind of at a high level why we need a DevOps, because you are in this era right now, browser era. You are using virtual machines. Probably you are in agile team. Probably your code base is 100 MB of for the 2 week release. Probably you are working on the web services based applications or not. I'm so sorry, I'm not having great knowledge about that your product. And SOA, software oriented architecture, service oriented architecture, and maybe agile model. Okay, so but what you have to do, you have to go through this. You have to become a dev QA operations. You have to do the release every 5 minutes. You have to have the application which is highly available, scalable, secured, and so on. So you have to migrate to microservices, and DevOps will help you. So are you trying to are you trying to understand that what I'm trying to say? I mean, did you get some idea about the DevOps? Did you get some idea?
Yes.
Maybe
Yes.
in the high level, yes, right.
Uh-huh. So what do you think about it? What is your view on this? Anyone would like to share your points?
So it's like minimizing the set of efforts we put into, grab the whole final release at one shot.
Something like that, yeah. What else?
And doing everything very fast, like releases will go very fast, and
Yeah.
things will be independent of, like loosely coupled. Things will be independent of each other, like if microservices will be there. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So guys, now question is how to transform this. How to transform this? You understand that how we were evolving. How to transform this? How DevOps? Many people say how to DevOps. Many people say, okay, do one thing, hire a DevOps engineer. Okay, hire a DevOps engineer. Many people
Rajesh,
say, yeah,
yeah, sorry to interrupt you, but I have a question.
yeah. Yeah, please go ahead. I can hear
So
you.
yeah, so as you were giving the examples, so you showed us how the evolution has happened in the software development. So then you told us when we were developing applications like MS Office and all, which had a longer release cycle and all. Then waterfall model was good. Then came the browser-based applications, and then now we are focusing on devices, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
my question is, we still have applications which are used by desktops, like MS Office is still there. Okay, then
yeah,
there are browser-based applications also are still there. So
yeah.
is DevOps only suitable for this particular set of applications which are like device-centric or which needs rapid development, or it is suitable for older or the other segment of applications like MS Office or WordPress, things like that.
Yeah.
So is it
So
like a one size fits all kind of thing, or I
no,
hope you got my question.
yeah, understand that.
Yeah.
See here,
Yeah.
you have asked a very good questions actually. So here, what is happening? Think about it. What is the objective? Whenever we say DevOps, is very difficult to nowadays to define a DevOps because there's a hundreds of definition. To be honest, even I get confused. Many people talk about the different definition. As per my view, okay, what is the objective? Think about it. This is the objective: quality release, cost reduction, and immediate release. Maybe you don't want every 5 minutes release. Why? Because still your application is running on desktop or browser. So do you not want quality of improving the quality? Do you not want cost reduction of the software development and running? See, I said right, software development running, application software development running. Do you not want? Actually you want it. So still the DevOps is applicable for you. Still the DevOps is applicable because DevOps is just a kind of mindset. It's not a something. That's what I was coming to these points. What is DevOps? So many people get confused about this, how to implement the DevOps. So DevOps is not something which is a new thing actually. Whatever we've been doing, we are just refining it as per our requirement. So let's say if you are having let's say, can we do one thing? We are running an application the browser based. Can't we use containers? Yes, we can use here. Our cost will be reduced. Can't we use let's say integration between the dev QA operations? So here we can do the integration. Maybe one our code is large here. Our code is large, but can we work together more closely than ever before? Okay, because we have to do the releases. So can we work? So yes, DevOps is for desktop also, browser also, devices also. But it's just like why we are introducing the DevOps, because of, I feel, because of this requirement, because of only this requirement. Sorry, because of this requirement. Let's say sorry, this one. You want to do the release in 5 minutes. Why? Let me tell you here. Because of only this requirement, we all are following container, 5 MB, Google, microservices, and DevOps. Why? What is this requirement? Let's say Ola, let's say just simple example. I always use this. Ola versus Uber. You are trying to access Ola. Now Ola has a problem. Now Ola has a problem for only 20 seconds. What problem? I don't know. It may be bugs, it may be server issues, maybe security issues, maybe any issues like hardware, software, whatever it is. But it is down, right, for 5 minutes or 2 minutes. Now, if you tell your consumer, okay, there's some downtime because one Ola is accessed by millions of people at a time. Understand that. One Ola is accessible by millions of people at a time. So if that Ola is down for 5 minutes or 20 seconds itself, it will impact millions of users. What you'll do? You'll migrate to Uber. Second day, if it is also down, you'll migrate to Uber. Third day, you might not come. So Ola has lost what? Huge customer base. So what you have to do, you cannot tell, I will release after 2 weeks, I will bug fix after 2 weeks, I will do that end of the day. You cannot say. You have to fix it immediately. But the question is how to fix it or revert back immediately. I said immediately. Here you see release immediate. I changed the keyword later. First I started with this one, so after that I changed. Now I need it now. But here EULA is not running in one machine, right? It's not running in two machines. It's running on thousands of machines in a data center. How can you revert back everything? And only the problem area, not like, let's see, understand that Ola is a big software, 200 functionality is there, but there is a problem in only one functionality, right? But which is impacting everyone. So how can we get to revert back or get to fix that immediately? So how can you? That's a major question. So for that, people started talking about, let's do one thing. Let's convert into smaller code, microservices. Let's put it together, dev, QA, operations together, make it one team. And because now people say, no, I will not become a QA. I will not become an operation. I will not become a dev. This is the mindset. So you have to change the mindset with the help of the DevOps. That's what I was coming through. And then don't run in the VMs anymore, because it takes some time. Here, in order to run the physical server, it take, let's say, full day, at least 20 minutes, 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Here just a second. So this is the kind of evolutions we have. So yeah, it's not something new which we were doing. That's the reason I said these objectives were there from long time, but we keep changing, depends on our requirement. Are you getting my points, what I said?
Yeah, Rajesh, got it.
So yeah, any other inputs you guys have to share?
Rajesh, mind explaining, the big picture between VMs and container, how the resource utilization happens,
Which one? Containerization?
and VMs.
Yeah, so these topics I will anyways, I'll come back to this training, because this
Okay.
training is pending. So I'm just theoretically I'm trying to help you with that. Nothing great about it. Theoretically I'm trying to help you out with that. So
Okay, then I hope it's lined up. I'm pretty early asking the question, I guess.
yeah, no problem. I will answer this. So guys, question is okay, fine, we understood. DevOps will do what? It will help you to quality release, cost reduction, and immediate release. But how can you do that? That's the question. How can you do that 5 minutes release? So for that you have to change the model also, architecture also. You have to change that. You can't do everything in one go. It's a very simple logic, right? You can't do everything in one go. If you want to do in a 5 minutes release, that means you can't do that everything in one go. So you have to reduce the code size also. So how can you reduce the code size? With the help of the microservices concept. Now even though if you work, a small feature also changes, then here people will say, okay, no, I completed my coding, and testing is pending. So think about it. I completed my coding, testing is pending. Testing team will say, I completed my testing, operation is pending. Operations. So this is an integration problem. See, plus this, because release will not happen until all people will work. So now DevOps says, do one thing, become one. Don't become multiple team. This is the dev team, QA team, operation. No, we don't need it. Become one. When you become one, so now one people will do everything. Why? Because you have a smaller code changes. You have to only modify your code changes, microservices. Because of the, it's a 5 MB, your code changes will take, let's say, few minutes. Then automated test casing, there's no manual work which is there. Automated test cases will run, and finally you will do the release. How much will it take to release 5 MB? Just maybe few minutes. Okay, so all this thing is the evolution is, all this thing is conditional. Okay, so now how do we do DevOps? That's the question. How? So many people say, okay, hire a DevOps team. Okay, they will do the DevOps, and actually it's a wrong. Okay, many people say, okay, do one thing, use DevOps tool. Use DevOps tool. Wrong. There is no as such, we call it tools, because tools are tools which will always keep evolving. So this is wrong. How to do the DevOps? Many people say, okay, do one thing, uh, 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 do one thing, putting development plus operations, and it's become a DevOps. Actually, this is also wrong. This is also wrong. Okay, so the question is how to do the DevOps. So basically, DevOps is a conceptual stuff. Okay, DevOps would help you to change mindset or culture. Understand that your mindset, my mindset, culture of your organization, culture of organization and employee. Yeah, this is a mindset problem. It's like cultural evolutions actually. See here, we got so stick to the waterfall model, so stick to the agile, we don't want to change it. We don't want to adopt the new things. So it's a mindset issues. So DevOps would help you to change your mindset and culture of organization and employee. Okay, employee, organization and employee. Now the question is, how can you change the mindset of organization and then employee? Okay, many things are there, many things are there, but ultimately change the mindset and culture of the organization and employee to get what? To get again this one, same thing. I'm so sorry, I'm repeating multiple times these key points, but this is what I am having right now. Okay, so this is the thing. Now, so in short, DevOps, again I'm asking the same question, what is a DevOps then? What is a DevOps? So DevOps is a way, DevOps is a way in which you have one goal and one team. Okay, see here, one team I said. So if you say dev team, QA team, operations team, this is not a DevOps. One goal, if you have, then it should be one team. Change your mindset. Change your mindset. The moment you say one goal means my software, let's say on Mom X, is my goal, right? Everyone, no matter what you do, it's a one goal, right? One goal. So there should be one team, not a multiple team. The multiple teams. So the moment you become you become a multiple teams, the goal also it's become create a problem, integration problem, because multiple team, one goal, problem, integration problem. So one goal, one team. So what is the DevOps? DevOps is a way in which you have one goal, one team, and how effectively communicate within a one team. I'm saying one team, within a one team, how effectively integrate with each other, integrate with each other, how effectively communicate, that is important, communicate with each other. Okay, how effectively understand, these are the keywords for the DevOps, understand each other. So communicate, integrate, I said with communicate within a one, integrate, communicate, understand, and understand, communicate, and relationship. Yeah, how effectively you build relationship, build a relationship with each other. For what? Again, same goal. For what? This. Okay, this. So this will never leave you alone. So the question is communication, integrations, understanding each other. There's a few places you might see the some spelling mistake, please ignore it. So sometime I miss this typing. So how you build a relationship, understanding, communication. See here, this is a DevOps. Integration, communication, understanding, relationship. This is the DevOps. For what? This one. Being a one team, one goal. So you should not say, okay, I'm from architect team, I'm from a development team, I'm from a QA team, I am from operations team, I'm from the DB team, I'm from network team, I'm from IT team, because all the team need to be working together, effectively together, integrate together, understand each other together to complete this goal. And if you are not integrating, then release will not happen in 5 minutes. DevOps is a transition. It's a mindset problem. It's a doing, helping you to change your mindset. That's what I said. DevOps would help you to change your mindset and culture, working culture in organizations and employee. Okay, so this is the DevOps. Now the practices are too many actually here. Too many. How can you change? How can you integrate? How can you communicate effectively? How can you understand effectively? And many things for organization and employee. There's so many practices. Okay, so what is a DevOps? So this is what I feel in short. This is the DevOps. Okay, any inputs from your side? Any input from your side?
Doesn't it sound like too monolithic? You know, if I draw the inference between how the teams work and how the software work, doesn't this sound like more monolithic in picture?
Okay, so here I'll put it in one visual way probably. So maybe it will help you. So see, our goal is 5 minutes really. Let's understand that. That's a goal, end goal.
Okay.
Okay, 5 minutes really. Now, how do we do that? So we have to go into the microservices. So now this is the here. Now we have one feature here. This is one feature, 2 feature, 20 feature, 100 feature, 200 feature. Okay, all are monolithic. Now this is a 1 GB of code. How can you do that release? Let's say build time is taking 1 hour. Testing time is taking, coding, forget about it. Coding is like so complex because everything is integrated. Okay, so build coding time taking, let's say 1 hour. Build is taking 1 hour. Testing time is taking, I'm just saying all automation in place, then only I'm saying. So here CBT and then operations 1 hour. This is a superb combination, by the way. So in that case also you got a release in 4 hours. Now you have to convert these 4 hours into 4 minutes, or let's say 4 minutes. How can you do that? So simple way. Now this we separate, this we separate, with this we separate, this we separate, this we separate. So now we had a 1 GB code, or let's say 10 people were working. So now 1 people, 2 people, 3 people, 1 people, 2 people, like this is working. Okay, now the size is become a 5 MB, 10 MB, 5 MB. Now this release is 1.1, 1.2, 1.9. This is very aggressive, 2.6, depends on that. This is very slow, 1.0, something like that. So here now this is called microservices. Now the question is how these microservices will have a communication with each other. Contract. If first you will from outside you will hit to this service, from this service it can travel only to this service. You cannot reach out to this service. Contract signing. This will send this request response. This service will connect to this service, like this. So this is how it is there. Now the question is, you might find it might sound very complicated, but with the help of technology it can be very easy, because technology has come. That's the problem. That's a solution actually. You feel it's very complicated, but with the technology it's become so easy, so easy. So that is the reason we are talking about 5 minutes release. Okay, so now here let's say you have a 5 minutes code. There's some bugs in the software, suddenly it pop up. So immediately you got a, see, you are a dev, you are a QA. Your mindset is a dev and QA. So you will not, when you have a mindset with a dev and QA, so you will check the bugs, immediately you fix the bugs, maybe some coding issues, 1 or 2 line, 3 line, 5 line, whatever it is, and check the bugs, and then immediately you know that what to test, and then immediately you release, build and test and release immediately, because that. Now the question is, how can you move from the dev to QA and QA to operation so fast within a second? Possible. That is where we have to learn technology. Again, I'm emphasizing on the technology. I know that this sounds like a crazy idea, but when you learn this technology, then you will find Everything is become so easy, and that is the reason I think OnMob has a so many trainings, technology training. So if you look at this, many trainings is in plan actually. Look at the sheet which has been shared by your team. You have a many tools in plan. How can technology help you to do that? First, you change your mindset. First is change your mindset. That is your DevOps. Change your mindset and culture. Once you change your mindset, you are ready for adopt the new changes, new technology, your organization and your employee. Then we'll talk about what is, how can you do that? How part will come later. Then I'll teach you Docker, Ansible, Artifactory, Kubernetes, uh, this Istio, Service Mesh, all this lots of technology related things are there, which will help you in just a matter of few minutes, few seconds, everything. So I think this is just we are scratching the surface. So we are just helping you to change your mindset in this case. Are you trying to get me here?
I get what you're trying to explain, Rajesh, but maybe the point what I expressed, I am not sure if you got the context what I was referring to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, please tell
So
me.
let me rephrase it. So when I say an application itself in a monolithic structure isn't a good design to handle
Mm-hmm.
multiple set of functionalities in its way, we brought microservices into the picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I draw the same inference, in a way of a person works, do you think doesn't this DevOps model, make it sound like more monolithic for a person alone to do all stuff? I'm just trying to correct my mindset. That's it.
Okay, so if your product is in monolithic, okay,
Mhm.
then see your priorities when it is a monolithic, then your priorities might not be immediate release.
No, no.
Okay.
My point is nothing to do with the architecture. What I'm trying to is just to draw an inference. When I say monolithic, my application does all this stuff, which is
Uh-huh.
equivalent to one DevOps engineer doing all this stuff. Microservices say like a person doing only a dev stuff or only doing QA stuff, only doing operation stuff. I'm just trying to draw the inference here. That's it.
Okay. So when I say DevOps engineer, what do you think about it here?
At least to the basic understanding what I do
Hello.
have here, when I say I have a feature, let's say one single feature which has less space or less set of requirements, whatever it is. So it's his responsibility to
Uh-huh.
start from dev and passing through set of the test cases or whatever the QA people help us in doing, and then deploying
Uh-huh.
using the ops. So it's like end to end, being held
Correct. Yeah.
in the responsibility of one specific individual.
Correct. Yes. Yes. So yeah, this you have a very right understanding of the DevOps. I agree. But still, I'm so sorry, but I'm confused with the question. I guess.
Okay, so
Okay.
just I'll just get back to what I was telling. Monolithic is like one application doing everything, right?
No, that's not a monolithic. Monolithic means uh, you have every feature of applications packaged together, tightly coupled. Means it's like if you separate, if there is a, for example, monolithic means if there is an error here, you have to build everything, test everything, deploy everything, and I mean everything. I mean, just the one code changes I did in the software, and you are doing everything. Like it will take 1 hour of building, but I just change one line code. I just change one line code, but I am doing everything. Building again taking 1 hour. Uh, Testing is again taking 1 hour. Deployment also taking 1 hour. So it's like not a right way, because I just modify one thing. So that I should only build that thing, only test that thing, only deploy one thing. But that is not possible when you have architecture like uh, monolithic. So we say, okay, do one thing, keep it separate. I mean, it's not a overnight, one day things. It might take years, but keep it separate. All these features, they keep it separate, and they talk through the REST APIs or whatever it is.
Rajesh, sorry to interrupt again. I'm just trying to draw the inference. I'm totally good with understanding with the architecture, but like I said, I'm just trying to draw an inference. So why don't we do one thing? Let's just continue with the talk. I'll just trouble you with this question whenever you're free. No, I just don't want people to wait and just listen to this.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So guys, this is the how can we do the DevOps. Now, so change your mindset. Change your mindset first. Change the culture. Now, with that, let's understand, if you change the mindset, if you're ready to work together, if you're ready to reduce the cost, improve the quality, and immediate release. Again, so many points are there which I'm not discussing right now because it'll be too long, but coming to the point here. So when we do the DevOps, we do the lots of automation only. So once you change the mindset, then you get automations here. Automation. Okay. So automation here is a second change, second things when you have a mindset and culture changes. So automation means what? Let's do a little bit of discussion on that. Let's say, how can we automate everything together? How can we automate? So first thing is like what we do. That's we need to understand what we do. So what we do is software development. So let's say there's one product and the product name is product X. Okay. Now for this product X development, what are the things we need to do? So there is a 10 people, 10 DevOps engineer. Okay. 10 DevOps engineer, and now working from home. Okay, that's a take this as a reality for the today's incident. So 10 DevOps engineer is working from home. Now how many features each one of these assigned with? 10 feature. Each one of these has a one feature to work with, and each features he will do dev, QA, and QA and operations. And when I say QA, it's not like you only will do the QA, but it's like you, whatever you develop, you test your software, write your test cases, and same time other people also do the shared responsibility. That means, let's say you are the one who developed microservices one, feature one, I developed microservices feature two. I did the dev, QA, operations, everything together. But for your microservices, I'll become a testing team. For me, for my microservice, you will become also testing team. Okay, so understand, it's a mutual responsibility. Okay, shared responsibility. So that is a thing. So this is the thing. So what are the problems? Let's understand the problems. I'll go by the problems. One problem which I am saying here, code integration. Okay, before code integration, planning, knowledge sharing. So planning, knowledge sharing, code integration. After that, what? Code review. These are the problems we have. Okay, see here, quality, code review, and each and everything has a some significant. I'm not going to deep dive into that. Code review, unit testing. Okay, build, here code review, build management, unit testing, packaging, package management, archiving. Here packaging, I'll say packaging and package management. Okay, after this, what? Deployment. To what? QA. And do what? Acceptance testing, AT. Okay, again deployment to pre-prod, complete testing, deployment to prod, monitoring. Okay, now let's understand this. Which are the tools we can use for the planning? Any idea? Quickly, let's come up with this list of tools.
Jira.
Planning, Jira. Knowledge sharing,
A team.
Team. Yeah. One of the Confluence. I'm using
Confluence.
Confluence. Yeah. Code integration.
GitHub.
GitHub. Yeah. Code review. Code review. Code review. SonarQube. Build management. Gradle, Maven. I'm just
Gradle.
telling
Maven.
you. Yeah. Maven, Gradle. I'm just telling you one name. Okay. Please understand that. There's so many tools are available. You know that very well. Okay. Unit testing for if you have a
JUnit.
Java project. Yeah. Packaging. Let's say jar.
Jar.
Package management. Let's say Artifactory. Okay. Deployment to QA. Let's say Ansible. Again, so many tools are there. I'm not confusing the tools. Please understand this. Ansible. Acceptance testing. Selenium. Okay. What is this? Production, pre-production, Ansible. Deployment, complete testing. Again, so many other tools you have. Suite testing suite, you can use LM test, LM some test suite you can use it. So many HP quality center, so many things are there. You know that if you are in QA. Deployment to production, again Ansible. Okay, monitoring, again there's a branch here. Log monitoring, infra monitoring. Okay, log monitoring, infra monitoring, security monitoring, what else, performance monitoring, monitoring. So again, different tools are there. Some naming which I think we will opt for it. I think log monitoring will go for Elasticsearch, ELK stack. Okay, which we have a training plan for this. Infra monitoring, I think we have a plan for Prometheus. Okay, so security monitoring, again we will use SonarQube, and plus one of the tools which you can take it up, Neuralink. Okay, ELK also. So many kind of security threats are there, so you can use all the tools here. Prometheus performance monitoring, let's say Neuralink. So these are the tools which is we are going to learn. Now the question is, okay, fine, how can I integrate everything together? So yes, you can integrate here. So you do the coding here, then you do the UT here, analysis here, analysis. See here, analysis. Sorry if I make some spelling mistake. Analysis, and then after this UT and coding analysis, build. See here, build, UT, packaging, 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 and what rep archive, ARCHI archive, and deployment, dep to QA, okay, and AT, CC, code CC. I forgot code coverage. I think you guys are using already CC. Here I missed that on top of it. Here CC, Jacoco, right? Jacoco. So here you see here we do all this thing. Now the question is, are you going to do all this thing? Actually no, it's all this thing can be automated through one go. Tools are there actually for this. Let me tell you one of the tools, which is you have a GUI based tool which you like it to do that, and that is Jenkins. If you want really command line tool, then you can use Terraform, which will do everything. Okay, command line tool, Terraform. So here what will be done by you? Only this one. Human will do only this one. Rest of the things will done automatically. Okay, human will do coding, but coding what? Again, understand that. So we need a person, understand that, who can understand that, who can do only when I say we means organization, need a person who can do only what? Code for product, code for, again coding, you cannot leave this, code for testing a product. Okay, whatever the products, I don't know. And code for again infra. So here you may use Java. Here you may use Selenium again in Java if I put it in this way, because you know that Selenium, again you write a Java code only. Many people do the GUI based also, but it's, and here you may use Jenkins file. It's a go again coding, sir. Jenkins file, or what is that? Terraform. So see, tell me one thing: who's not coding? Everyone is coding. So you and these three things will be done by one person now, and that's the reason we are learning all these tools. Actually, we are learning all these tools. So how can we do the coding? And it's very simple and very easy to do this. Jenkins file, Terraforms, Java, Selenium. This is easy to do that. So one person. So are you trying to get what I'm trying to say here? Are you getting what I'm trying to say here? I'm just trying to correlate and see that how we are, getting into that mode actually. So are you getting my points?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So see here, you are not using any tool. This is a one-time activity. And let me tell you here, all these tools. If you're getting scared, actually, let me tell you here. Even when I started, let's say around 8 years back, when I started hearing, I mean, I wanted to become a DevOps expert, because I did coding in my life. I did build and release. I did SCM. I did architect. So I did monitoring also. So I did, and I wanted to become a DevOps. And then when I look at the 8 years before, the list of tools which I need to get into that, then I got scared. Am I going to learn all these tools? And when I got into that, I found out these all tools are no, don't get scared. Trust me, easy to learn, test, debug, share, compared to everything. Very all these all tools. If you're getting scared, all tools is easy to learn, test, debug, share, and stuff like that. Not very difficult. And that's the reason I'm saying, probably if you help me with your timing, with your concentration, I will try my best to teach you in Ansible, so you don't have to go again back to the learning process after this training. Or I'll try to help you with the Docker, so you don't have to learn any, directly go in the production and start using. But for that, you need to help me out also. Means we need to focus with each other. We need to keep interacting with each other. So you will not lose time. Time is very important. So if you spend 2 days with a Docker, that means only it should be 2 days, not more than 2 days. It's not like, okay, let me go through this training. After that, I will do some offline practice. After that, I will go into the work and again I'll learn something. No, you should not be having that approach. That is a mindset problem here. That is a mindset problem. Okay, so you should finish this task today only, tomorrow only, day after tomorrow. So learning process, learning curve should be immediately get disappeared after this training. It should not be training actually. You can say it's like we are having kind of workshop together to sharing our knowledge. So I know Ansible, I'll share with you. You know some problems, you can share with me. I will try to help you out. Docker, Artifactory, or any other tools also. So are you trying to understand this?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rajesh.
Okay. Yeah, so this is good. So yeah, by the way, guys, I would like to get you comfortable with some more tool, which is post production. So post production, let's say these tools are whatever the tools I use so far. Actually, this is for browser based application when you are running in the virtual machines. If you're moving to the containers, the some of the tools might get changed. Okay, for example, mainly in the production things. So production things means this will be there, but some more, because here you see earlier we had only 3 services, 4 services, 5 services, like a web service, database service and all. But in a microservices concept, you have a 200, 300 services. Think about it, 200, 300 services. Which one will talk to which one, which is allowed to which one, what will send, what you'll request, what you'll response, authorization, discovery, many things are there. So some of the tools, again, we need to introduce. I'm not introducing it, but but uh, but let me introduce here. So this is a long list. Let me open up online. Okay, so now guys, here look at this. These are the tools you have to get going. So understanding the conceptual stuff like what is the models, architecture, and an operating system. Cloud you have to learn AWS, Docker. Uh, yeah, yeah, Docker, which I'm going to teach you this session. Jira, Confluence, some programming language, and Git and GitHub, MySQL database, some of the code analysis tool, Gradle for the build management, Artifactory, UFT, Selenium, and AppScan for the security analysis. Security is very important again, code coverage, Jacoco and all, and web server Nginx you need to know, configuration management like Ansible, security infrastructure, securing infrastructure itself in Spring, JUnit, Kubernetes you need to know, Terraform you need to know, Helm, what is this Helm you need to know, in Goa you need to know, Istio you need to know, Console you need to know, Jenkins you need to know, HashiCorp, or all these tools are damn simple. You won't do, if you feel like, okay, I'm learning so many tools, you won't feel doing anything actually. So just knowing how to use it, that's all. Splunk, ELK, New Relic, PagerDuty, Splunk, Enterprise, AWS Security Graph, and all. So yeah, many tools are there which you have to get started with. Understand that? So finally, what is the objective you will reach? 5 minutes release with a quality release, cost reduction, and immediate release. Now, I try to help you in a short way, but also I'm going to share with you lots of course material, videos on that. So let me share with you right now itself, so you can see these videos and try to understand actually what I was talking about. So uh, uh, so there's so many resources you can get it, but I'm sharing your resources only, which I think people from your team has access with. So this is the resources, you can go through this and learn more about it in a more deep dive. If you really have a curiosity to know what is the DevOps, so see here. In the last sessions, I recorded this video, and mainly talking about how to change mindset. That's important. Mindset is very important. See, mindset is very important. How to change the culture. So here, organization and employee. So here we have, I think, 4 hours of recordings. Okay, please go through that. By the way, we have a duplicate recording many places. Like I keep giving it. You can go for this place also. You'll find so many recordings of previous sessions or whatever it is, public batches sessions. So a hell lot of things you'll get it. So I'm sharing with you. You can go through this recommended one. This is the offline, and this is the recommended one. Go for this course.
Rajesh, will it be anyone can able to access this? Because yesterday I checked with the new Gmail ID, but people not able to see these two courses.
No, just a second. I'm accessing through the Gmail. I don't have an admin permission right now. So,
Rajesh, would it be possible for you to share the link in the chat window?
yeah,
I will share it with you. The notepad will be shared with everyone.
Yeah.
By Rajesh. But Rajesh will share it.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
guys, let me log out, and you have to log in with the Gmail ID. Okay, it's enabled to the ODAP Gmail. So please understand this. So let me share the links with you right now. And can you confirm me whether you could access this? Log in with the Gmail. If you have logged in with the Gmail, just proceed further. Click on this button. This button. This button. Quickly do that and do let me know. Are you able to access that course? Because I think I'm not stopping that right now. So I have this left side, all these courses. I don't know why not. Do you have this one? Guys, anyone?
Rajesh, give us some 2 minutes.
Able to see, Rajesh.
Okay, wonderful. Means if one is able to see, then everyone will be able to see, no problem. So it's confirmed. Okay, so guys, yep. So please have that.
Rajesh, it seems
Okay.
that I've got an error saying like class info not found.
Continue. There's some PHP issue in the server because of upgrade. Please continue. You won't find any issues after that.
Okay.
Left side, my courses. You will have a 2 courses,
Left side,
3 videos, and all quiz.
It's taking a bit of time, so I just can't give you a real time. Yes.
Yeah, I'm able
No,
to
I
access.
think it should be.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's
If one is
accessible.
able to access, then yeah, one is able to access all. So guys, I'm
I have
keeping
tried
right now
with a
this
new
all
mail
this.
ID, so I think everybody will be able to.
Yeah. So guys, this all these videos will be available for timing all of your here only. But once I get the list of consolidated people who should be, I mean, end of this batch, because we have a multiple session planned. So end of this session, end of this maybe whole session, I will create a more consolidated courses only accessible to you guys, because in the system I don't want to complicate too many things beforehand only. So that way. So and that this access will be available lifetime. So you don't have to worry about it. Uh, you don't have to access anything else. Okay, guys. So now, any questions? Any doubts? If you have any questions, you may ask. Any questions?
Rajesh, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
As a developer, like what expectations are there for like moving into DevOps?
So you should know entire flow of the software development. That means you should know how start, I mean, how this your product is being developed from start to scratch. So first you get into the architecture. Second thing, planning. How do you plan? Code sharing. I mean, same thing, whatever I discussed. So end to end flow, you know. The moment you know the end to end flow, that may require you have to interact with the multiple stakeholders of your team in a current maybe you are in agile mode right now, your team is in agile mode, so you have to interact. Once you get this knowledge, that means that knowledge is like a you are bringing a bridging a gap of the changing your mindset. Because earlier what was your mindset? Your mindset was, oh, I'm a developer, so I should know only one thing, coding, and coding for that requirement only. I don't bother about how do is being tested, how is being the environment is being created for the testing, how these operations work, what are the environment of operations, how they run application, what are the configuration they have. So you don't bother about it. But now you change the mindset. You try to know that knowledge. Now how can you get the knowledge? So I think sharing will come. Sharing will means the person, everyone in your team and project have to share the knowledge. How do you share the knowledge? I think you guys have the mechanism in place also already, that like a team and Confluence and all stuff like that. So you have to share that knowledge, and automatically it's not like okay, if I'll be asked, then I will share the knowledge. No, it should be in a mindset. That is what I'm talking about in this video here. I'm talking about what can you do as an individual, each one of you, to change your mindset. You have to start sharing, you have to start working, you have to start learning, you have to start working cross technology and cross platform also. So uh, till now you were hesitating, but probably you should not do anymore, because of whole team is under the under the same process. So I think it will be more easier for you.
Thanks for watching. To watch our complete session, enroll for our premium membership. Click onto the join button and enroll yourself with the best suited option. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Want to study further? Subscribe to our paid membership to get a deep dive into each and every topic. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to our DevOps School channel and hit the bell icon to learn more. Keep learning.